then the next thing I want to do is I want to make it so that the water is above the boat. So there's more of transparency of the boat. So this is pretty simple. What I would do, everybody does things differently, is what I would do is I would duplicate this boat, right? And I would hide the one that's underneath of it. And this is just going to be the bottom portion of the boat. So I am going to go over here in the mask with black, and I'm going to get rid of, make sure I have a nice soft brush. Yep. I'm going to get rid of this whole top portion of this boat. Make sure I get all the details, all of the stuff. You got to zoom in to make sure you get everything, because there's other things around it. Right, so that's that part of the boat. Okay, not too bad. I can probably even get not so soft of a brush, maybe a medium, and bring some of that boat back. Just kind of bring that back, but I think I like it when it's kind of soft. So let's go back to that, get it a little bit softer. Yeah. Okay. And now we do the same with the boat itself. So this one's the whole entire boat. So we're going to hide that little portion. And we could actually keep it there if we want. Before we even do that, I want to make this part of the boat transparent. So I'm going to bring the transparency down. There it is. So we just have a little bit of the boat, and it's just kind of see-through and underneath, and I'm probably going to have to edit that a little bit. But now I'm going to go with the boat itself, the top portion, and I'm going to go in the mask, and I'm going to get rid of the bottom portion of the boat. And remember, I already have something already under there. And I can bring some of this back as well, but there we go. And that might be a little too much. So I'm going to go back and bring some of this back. Just get over the edge here. And so what this is this is the bottom portion and this is the top, you see? And so with the top portion, I probably want to look at this and use this line as my guide and say, I want to mask that out. So I'm going to get it a little bit smaller. I'm in the mask and I'm going to get on that line. That line is going to be my key element. And I don't want that blue kind of glowing line in there. I want to make it pretty clean. It might be that my brush is too soft and too big. So bring that down a little bit. Right? And we really have to see everything. You have to come in close and take a look at it. And you got to look at every little detail. We're using that blue line as the cutoff point for the actual boat and how it changes when it goes into the water. And when we bring this one back, we're going to do the same. We're going to cut that out. So let's go to the mask on that one. That's that one. This is the bottom of the boat. So we're going to go in the mask there. And we're going to mask that out because we're using that line as our guide to separate where that is. It looks like I got too much over here, so I'm going to bring this part back. Oops, too much over here. There we go. And so now it has that transparency to it, which is really kind of cool. And it uses that line as the guide to that. And then The next thing that I would think about doing is I need to fix the little part up in here because there's that extra part in here. And also he's very pixelated and he's not too great on the edges. So I need to clean him up. I'm going to go to the layer and I'm going to go into my brush and I'm going to zoom in and much as I can. And I'm going to start masking out those little tiny pieces. So I need to go around it. And I have a pretty soft brush. So let's, yeah, it's not too bad. It's medium in between hardness and softness. And so I need to come around the edges and get all that extra little stuff. I'm probably even going to have to get this down a little bit further, but you can see it's really pixelated. There's a trick to working with a really pixelated image. And so I have to make sure I even get the rest of his hat because this looks like I cut off a little bit of the hat there. And I'm going to show you the trick in reducing the pixelation of an image, and that is using the option called noise. I'll show you that in a minute. And so here I'm going around here, masking that part, bringing back a part with the white. So I'm going back and forth between white and black to kind of bring portions of this back. Need to mask that dark blue out there. And then this here too needs to be softer, that edge. Okay, and this is going to be a hard one because if I start a portion of this, so I'm going to go to the black and I'm going to mask it out. Not too bad. Keep masking it so it's more of a gradient, and it's really, really tough. So it looks like as soon as I get close to it, I see pixels. So I'm really going to have to get a smaller brush and get in there, maybe bring up the opacity. Yeah, and get just a little bit so it looks like it's getting masked. There we go. Not bad. And I think I made it work. There it is. And you want to look at detail because you don't want to leave something like that. It's gonna be not too great looking. So you always want to zoom in and make sure that you're getting all the detail. So that's not bad. It's a little fuzzy. I'm probably going to have to make this a little smaller of a brush and get in there and oops, and mask out that kind of dark edge because that line needs to be a little bit thinner. Just a really thin line. And all that little edge that's over here too. Because the line for the fishing doesn't have to be very thick. So that's not too bad. Let's zoom out. Yeah, you get an idea of it. And I'm going to save that. Now I want to talk about, as I mentioned, how low resolution this is. So this is how you can apply a grain over the whole entire image. This still needs to be fixed up a little bit. If you could see, there's little parts right here that need to be fixed. But for now, I'm just going to show you how you can put a grain on this. So the first thing you want to do when you want to apply a grain to the whole entire image is you want to make a blank layer. So make a new layer that's blank, and you want to fill that layer with 50% gray. So 50% gray is here, and also you don't want preserve transparency on. If you have preserve transparency on, it's not going to fill the whole entire layer with gray. So it's 50% gray, so this is the way it looks. Then you want to make this layer a smart object. So if you right click and you say, convert to smart object. So now it's a smart object. Then you go under filter, you go to noise, you say add noise, and you want just a little subtlety, just a little bit. If you have too much, I'll put a lot so you can see what it looks like when you have a lot. And then I'm going to say uniform and monochromatic. Monochromatic means that it's not, you can see it's very colorful here. I want it to be monochromatic, so it's just black and white. So it's like these grays and black and white. So click OK. And now you can see a smart filter kind of attached itself to this layer. And now I'm going to convert this layer to an overlay. So when you overlay it, now you can see it's really, really almost looks like snow. And this is the way you would do snow, which is really kind of cool. But it's too grainy. And you'll see this kind of grainy effect in film posters. They use this a lot, but this is way too much. So I'm going to click twice on the add noise option. Because this filter hasn't been applied directly to this layer, it is only a smart filter because this is a smart object. I can go in and I can edit this a little bit. So now I can bring this down a little bit more, and now it's just really subtle. So there's a layer there, but you can, I mean, there's a noise there. See, there's noise, there's no noise, and you could see it in here. There's the noise, and it covers up the pixelation when you have a little bit of noise. And that's without the noise, that's with the noise. So I like that really subtle noise. This is a 4.8% noise to it. And it unifies the whole entire image. So the whole image has that noise. You don't want to apply a noise to just one part of the image. You want it to be over the whole entire image. Oh, I could see there needs to be a little bit of fixing right there. I'll have to do. But I want you to kind of take a look at how this would come about. And then, of course, at any point, if you want to move this boat over, you're going to have to readjust the line that's there. If you want to tip the boat a little bit, you're going to have to readjust that line, that masking. But overall, this is kind of the masking that you would want to do, and the layer, the noise that you want to apply. And then last thing, you might want to even clean up this boat if you don't want it to be so rusty and old looking, because, oh God, she's fishing and this boat is kind of old. So I want to clean it up a little bit. So how you clean it up is you use the cloning tool or the healing brush. I'm going to try the healing brush first, and that is right above the paintbrush. It says spot healing brush. I'm going to click the option key. Oops, I need to be in the layer. There we go. So the spot healing brush automatically samples pixels to correct the spot. Okay, so I don't need to do it. Oh, I think I'm in the wrong one. Oh, the healing brush, not the spot healing brush. So now I want to use the spot healing brush, not the spot healing brush, the healing brush. So now I want to use the healing brush. The healing brush is here. We're going to go over here, hold down the option key to click the section that I want to heal with. And I think I'm in the boat. No, this is it, sorry. So go to option, click, and then I'll heal, and you could see it's healing it. Option, click, and it's just kind of blending and healing at the same time. Now, if you have something like this, which is a line, you probably want to use the cloning tool, because the cloning tool works a little different. You hold down the option key, and it duplicates that actual thing right there. So there it is. So now I can do that. And the same with this one. I'm going to hold down the option key, going to find that location, option key. There it is, option key again. And you could do that with this part too. I'm going to take the option key here, and I'm going to find that edge and just kind of clean it up. And this one is really a problem because it's got, looks like it's got a hole. So we're going to clean that up too. We're going to take the option key, click here, and I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to do just a little bit Same with this here. Option key, let's start right here, bring it up. And I hold down the option again, bring that up. Take from over here. So we're really cleaning up this image, making it look like the boat's a lot newer. It wouldn't be easier to do a repair of a boat like this. So I'm going to hold down the option key on this one up here. I'm going to come down here, find that edge, make sure it's even. Right there. And now I'll get that option. Looks much better. This looks kind of beat up here, so I might take some of this that's up here. So I'm going to click here. And I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to grab this, bring this down. So that looks a little better. I also see that this is a problem here, so I'm going to make that brush a little smaller. Hold down the option key, and you can get a little bit closer too. Hold down the option key. See where it is down in here. There it is. And then we come up and then do the same. Come down. There we go. So I now made that boat look a little bit better because it looked not too great. And I would probably clean up all of this and get rid of the masking that's inside of here, or the areas that are inside of here. So we have the first stage of actually putting a layout together with a fisherman, and that's the beginning. Okay.